Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. We got Eric the Crazy Viking. We got Mackenzo in the chat this morning. Welcome in, guys. Thanks for joining us this morning. I do appreciate it. We are going to jump right into our stream this morning. I think. There we go. Thought we were going to have. There we go. Very light music in the background, I hope. Should be there. There we go. Alright, you guys let me know how that goes. And I will see if I can get back over to my chat, make sure I can chat with you fine folks. Alright, as the thumbnail indicated, we are saying goodbye to an old friend here. We are going to be getting rid of the fin. We just need to generate some cash. We're about 34,000, but I'd like a little bit bigger cushion there because we do have to lease a little bit of equipment over here to harvest our hay. And I agree with you, Mackenzo. Coffee. Best way to start the morning. So yes, unfortunately we will have to trade this Fent off. The dealer has somebody that is interested in it, and they have made us a ridiculously good offer. And as luck would have it, this is to generate some income is a big reason, but the other bigger reason is the dealer had a customer back out on another machine, so they were looking to get rid of one, so they sort of made us a ridiculously low offer on that machine. So we're trading, and everybody, good morning, Hodge One. Welcome in, sir. Happy Easter to you. So everybody kind of gets what they want out of this deal. The caveat there is that the new machine is not quite ready for delivery yet. So, but that is what we've got going this morning. So we are going to run this old Fent Ideal down. If you guys have been followers of the channel for any time at all, you know how I love my Fent machines. But this is not a love decision. This is a business decision, and sometimes you have to make hard ones. So we're going to get rid of our Fent and get another AGCO related harvesting machine. I'll let you guys ponder on what that might be. I'm terrible at surprises, I'm sorry. In the meantime, we are going to lease a swather and get a little bit of hay put up. I made some miscalculations in our spring and summer budget, and we did not quite have enough to get this stuff purchased. So anyway, I digress. We will jump over, and we did put bushel plus on that guy, so we can take that off and put that on the new machine. I forgot about that. So we better back here out of the way. That can just be transferred over to the new machine. There we go. There we go. If I could find the right buttons. We're going to sell. $370,000 for that guy. So that was a wise choice. Wise choice. So, good morning, Matt. Happy Easter to you as well. You and Vanessa and Brennan down there. Happy Easter. Welcome in, sir. Appreciate you joining us. So we are going to get this old Massey here. Get the right tires on that baby. Of course, we'll need the GPS, and we're just going to lease this one. We're going to lease our hay equipment, get this little bit of hay off, and we'll go from there. There they are. Lease that one as well. All right. How is everybody this morning, this fine Easter morning? I appreciate you hanging out with us. We have seen some very encouraging and numbers that I am super happy with from March, and I'd love to carry that over in July. We're in July in the game. Carry that over into April here. So you guys are just having a little breakfast before you leave for the casino hotel. Very cool. That sounds like fun, huh? Absolutely. Hoping y'all win big too. So, it has been a hot minute since we advanced time ahead, or since we've been in this stream. I did advance time ahead. That's what I'm trying to say. We are now from the middle of July, end of July, end of June, beginning of July. There we go. We got that all squared away. Good morning, Vanessa. Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping in. Happy Easter to you. We are rolling here to cut some hay. Hopefully, the plan in the game was to have you guys ride along, to do a whole bunch of spraying, get some herbicide put down with our pivots, all that fun stuff. However, with the intense tillage practices that we do for potatoes, there wasn't a whole lot of spring spraying to be done. I found that kind of interesting. So I didn't even purchase a sprayer or lease one. There's just been nothing to spray. I just kept advancing the days slowly and checking, and there was never any herbicide that needed to be put down. So now it's just a matter of wait and get ready for harvest. So fantastic, guys. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. For my 30th birthday several years ago, Mrs. BigSky took me to Vegas for the very first time, and we were not super well off at that point in time in our life, but it was something we wanted to do, and we had some friends that shared a timeshare with us, so that was incredibly fun. But I can remember I sat at the blackjack table one night and just played, and Mrs. BigSky was right behind me, and every time I would win a hand, she would scrape most of the winnings off into her purse and just leave me with just enough to play the next couple of hands. And then every time I would win one, and by the end of the night, a couple hours that we were there, we had enough to go buy a really nice steak dinner. So that's what I won on my one trip to Vegas, was a nice steak dinner. So that's my Vegas gambling story for you there. So yes, this is a mighty big grasshopper, isn't it? So we're going to mow a little hay here. And we're going to see how I do. This one, I'm not sure. get a back and forth course set up here after a bit. I'm going to take these headlines off here first. And we'll come our back and forths. So. I love this addition BC Dealer put in this where we swathe it, we cut it, and we tet it all in one shot. And I love how he used the in-game, or the real-life portion of this header, the Twin Max they call it. That is something that is unique to Massey swathers. And what on earth? Oh. Okay, that's... What is going on here? So I had some issues with this hay in this field, and it didn't grow. Each time I fast forwarded the seasons, it just never grew, and it never grew. And so finally I did Easy Dev Tools to get it up to a harvest state, and apparently Easy Dev Tools did not follow our new where I took out this, whatever it's called. Words are hard for me this morning, so. There you go. There you go, Vanessa. That's nice. That sounds like kind of the same thing I did. Yep, exactly. You believe in you. So. And it was fun, and we did, when we went, we did take a certain little amount along that we, expected to lose at the casino. That's just how it was. What we were not prepared for was how expensive the food was the whole time we were there. So. Sounds good, Matt. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Enjoy breakfast. Enjoy breakfast. That little development here, we'll change our green plan just a little bit. We'll mow this in 2 separate sections, but won't matter much. We'll still get it all harvested. So. But yeah, that was kind of a bummer that the hay did not grow as we expected or wanted it to. So not a problem. We'll just get it done this way. There's a way to tet it and, bale it, Vanessa, or what? So, let's see here, McKenzie, you know that the grass and everything needs to be tetted, correct? We know that to make, you can mow it and it's grass, or then you tet it and it turns into dry grass or hay. This swather does that all in one step, mows it and teds it, so we can turn around and come right out and bale it. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Okay, perfect. So this is where it gets a little bit confusing for me, because in real life we call alfalfa hay, and you don't tet it, because if you tet it, all of the leaves fall off, and the leaves is where all the quality is. So you just mow it, leave it lay in these windrows for about a week, depending on the weather, and it naturally dries, and then bale it up. And so that's what the attractive thing about this swather is. It's very close to real life and how we do it on the farm. Is you mow it, you let it lay for a little bit, and you bale it up. Pretty together and you bale it up. So we can, with this thing, we skip that tedding part. This is also alfalfa, but I believe it turns it to dry alfalfa on this one. I think I'm explaining that all right. Probably not. So I'm sorry. Okay, guys, I have to say, I'm kind of half proud of myself here at this fairly decent job I'm doing of mowing freehand. Normally I would have much bigger skips and misses and whatever else. So, and the rows are even halfway straight. Why is that, Hodge? Why is that? Alright, let's get this. We're just going to stay on these long ends here. Is the music okay, volume-wise? I just grabbed a pre-made playlist from the place and went with it, so you guys let me know. Perfect, thank you. It needs to be a little less subtle, a little louder. I can definitely do that. But for my regular gameplay when I'm not streaming or anything, this is about what the level I have. So. What about those big poly rollers, Hodge? Easy there. We'll get a GPS course set up when we get across the divide here. I'm just super disappointed this hay didn't grow in game like we were hoping. I could. I wonder. Well, I don't think I planted it in the wrong season. Because the game wouldn't have gotten it. Yeah, I do know what those big poly rollers are on the back of the swatter. You're talking the ones they have when they are swathing canola to help kind of push that canola swathe down, correct? No, they're not. They're not heavy at all. They're it's a big old plastic roller and a bunch of framework. Yep. Those they kind of push that canola down into the standing stock of the canola that's left. Keeps the wind from blowing those big fluffy canola stalks away before you can get to harvest it. So, and this, as much stock is being left in the hay here, and as much as those big stalks poke through this hay window here, reminds me of how much stock is left when you've got canola there. So they cut canola in real life. Obviously the game is slightly different, but in real life they cut the canola when it's still slightly green, so that it doesn't shatter out the canola pods and lose all the seed. And different varieties of canola dry at different dry naturally on the stem differently. And so if you've got a kind of a longer growing canola in a shorter growing seasoned area, you got to cut it when it's a little bit green so that it doesn't shatter out and lose all the pods, and then you come back later with the combine and pick it up, and the combine is much gentler when it picks up those windrows, and so you don't have a big yield loss that way. So that is what the big polyrollers are, and they're not, from my understanding, like you said, they're not too heavy. They do serve a pretty vital purpose because they push those rows down into the stalks, and then they can lay there for a couple of days and dry down. So it's not quite like in the game where we mow it and then or swathe it and then turn right around and pick it up with the combine. In real life, we've got to lay there for a couple of days and dry out. So, and every farm, every variety, everybody is different. Sometimes it's a handful of days. Sometimes it can be a couple of weeks that you lay there. The downside or the concern there is if you swathe it and let it lay there too long, if it does rain, the bottom side of that windrow, those pods can actually sprout while it's laying in the windrow, which is obviously something that you don't want. So now that I've made everybody motion sick, this aside, we will, whoops, see, not quite gonna get this. We did. Awesome. Left an even number of windrows everywhere, so. Alright. Let's see if we can get this side taken care of. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened here, why this field didn't grow. I had to adjust it with easy dev, and so that's why we have this large brown streak right through the middle of the hay. So, it is what it is. Life sometimes happens like that. So, fortunately, in the game, we have ways to correct that. We didn't have to just write off the whole crop like we would have had to in real life. So, thanks for being 12 and game mechanics in this situation. We're definitely yielding a little bit better. Glitch. There's an auto-save glitch. I didn't even see the timer pop up. So. I do very much appreciate the time BC Bueller put into the steering mechanics of this machine. It's as accurate as it possibly could be within the game, especially driving with a wheel. I can't even tell you guys how much it drives exactly like a real life. It's kind of crazy how it does. mean, it drives just like it. It's squirrely. It's almost uncontrollable at times. But yet you can spin it around very quickly on the ends and get right into that next row. So you did just an amazing job with this mod. A secret hope from BigSky's secret hope chest is that he would at some point update these to the latest model AGCOs. That would make BigSky very happy. I don't think he has any plans to, unfortunately. But that would be so much fun. So, excuse me. I'm gonna go north. I think we actually have to. All right, so let's center this baby there, and there. Now we can chat a little with you fine folks. So, this, hopefully this hay yields us quite a bit. At least enough to pay back some of our debts anyway. That was kind of the plan for the whole thing. So. This is going to get a little tricky on this corner here. And so, was I just saying how great of a job he was doing? And then that happened. Goodness gracious, BigSky, crying out loud about this. So, how is everyone's morning so far? Not gonna lie, kind of little jealous of Matt and Vanessa mentioned on that great breakfast they're enjoying there. Hope they have a good week and enjoy themselves. So, it's early. Hodge says it's early. Absolutely, buddy. We've got the stream this morning, and BigSky has to go play Papa Easter Bunny and hide the Easter eggs for the kids to do the Easter egg hunt. Yes, I have older kids, but they still love the Easter egg hunt. Wife and I have been doing that on Easter Sunday mornings since they were little, and it's just kind of become our family tradition. So, and then we have a big old Easter lunch at my parents' house out on the farm. So we're gonna go hang out on the farm a little bit today. Oh, I do, Hodge. I do. I usually manage to keep one or two hidden that they have to ask where they are. So, that's my thing. So they each have a set amount. They have to find the same amount. They have to find their own, and they can help their sisters out. So. Now, see, that's the thing, Hodge. Is Mrs. BigSky, she gets me one big Reese's peanut butter egg every year. That's her and mine's Easter tradition. And so when the Easter egg hunt is done, that's when I get my Easter egg. So, around. Yeah. All right. I like it. Rather unsteady desk here that does kind of prevent me from really looking at the steering No, Hodge, they're about 10, 12 miles away. So about a 15-minute car ride. So not far at all. That's kind of our usual Sunday tradition is we go hang out there for a couple of hours after church. So have dinner with them and just kind of hang out. So, and then we kind of alternate holidays and whatnot with Mrs. BigSky's family and my family. So we kind of split it up that way, and that way we try to spend about equal time or so with both sides of the family. So. Oh man, that's really Hodge. I'm sorry about that. That's always tough to be that far from family. So my sister-in-law's kids, so my niece and nephew on marriage there, they are down in college in Arizona. So they are not gonna. They had spring break a couple of weeks ago already, so they're not gonna come back for the holiday. Just for the weekend, they don't have that much time off of school, so kind of know that feeling just slightly there of not having everybody close. So. And then my mom and dad have their siblings are kind of spread out all over the U.S. So what are we deciding to do here, GPS? All right, let's try this. See what happens. Let's do it. Helps to lower the head, though. Helps to put the head down. That's PI. Okay, cool. Actually had a. Think of it now. It is my grandpa's stepsister, actually. And her family, her husband used to own a big Purina feed business in Nova Scotia. So vaguely know that area of Canada. Basically that it's there, and that I had some family that lived there. So come on, yeah, we gotta do better than that. Drop it, switch it. There we go, that's better. Yep, lots of potatoes out there, that is for sure. So, on Facebook, I follow a couple of equipment dealers out there that have both Fendt and Sputnik. So, there. They sold it to their son-in-law and daughter, and they still run it as far as they kind of, as crazy as it is, they retired to Florida. This would be my dad's aunt, and they were there for probably 5 or 6 years, and honestly, I think he kind of got bored of being retired. So they moved to Montana and helped start a John Deere dealership in the little town where we are. The original one from when I was a kid. The brothers, they kind of mismanaged it and it didn't go well. And so my dad's uncle and aunt moved here and basically started it again from scratch. And then after about 4 years of that, he sold it out to a bigger conglomerate and retired again. To Florida. So they spend their winters in Florida and their summers up here in Montana, and they are now officially retired, he says, for the last time. So we'll see. So, but I do still have their daughter and son-in-law and all their grandkids and everybody live in Nova Scotia still. So. But yeah, it turns out some of my family lives in northwest Iowa are actually not too far from where Chad CW Farms lives. So it's kind of it's always interesting to find out just how small the world is, and then you get in this big community of farm sim and you find some people, and it turns out they live in the same general area as my family, and then that family just gets a little bit smaller, so, or that world just gets a little bit smaller, I should say, not the family. So. Very small, Podge, very small. It's sometimes nice, though, to have a family kind of spread out and you go and visit them and see different parts of the country and everything. That was kind of one of the tough things about growing up on a farm, is it's a great place to grow up. I loved growing up on a farm. Wouldn't have traded it really for anything. But our vacations were drive out to Iowa, visit the family out there, and drive back, which at the time was great because it was my uncle lived on a farm. My other uncle knew a bunch of people that had farms. So for me, it was a week of hanging out with cousins that I didn't see very much and visiting all sorts of different farms in Iowa. That, you know, farming in Iowa and farming in Montana is vastly different. And so for me, it was a blast. But also, I didn't really see any other parts of the country other than Montana and South Dakota. So that was, you know, our vacations were a week out to Iowa to see the family there, and part of a week to go camping in August, and that was about it. So not complaining in any way, just saying that's just how it was. And then I look at what my wife and I have done with our kids. Some of the vacations that we have taken, some we're gonna take, and I look at my three daughters. They've all been on an airplane. A couple of them have been on an airplane twice, and I was graduated high school before I ever took my first airplane ride, and so it's just how everything kind of changes. Everybody does everything different. So Bear's still lurking in the background. How are you doing, sir? How's that coffee going? So, and so it's neat for me to see that my little 12-year-old, 11-year-old has been on a plane. She'll be on a plane more times before she graduates than just about I have my whole life. So absolutely, Mr. Bear, absolutely, totally understand that for sure. So we're gonna work on making these corners just a little bit better, don't I? With the idea, maybe we get a worker started to finish this, see how that works for us, and we will go get the tractor and get the duals off and get the rake on, and we'll start raking this together. We'll maybe do a few more here. Yep. Sounds about like it, Hodge. as coincidentally, and so yes, I do come from a very big family. My dad, I think the numbers now. My dad had 5 brothers and sisters, and my mom had 6. So between the 2 sides of the family, I have just over 30 first cousins. So I actually have a cousin and her husband that they recently moved, but they did live in Chilliwack originally. So she's from Iowa, and she met a guy at college that was from Chilliwack, and they hit it off, and the rest, as they say, is history. And but this past summer, they moved to it's a little town in Alberta, and now I can't think of what it is. Yeah. Yep. So I'm assuming you know where Chilliwack is. Very cool. See, this is just such a small world, isn't it? Excuse me. But yeah, he works, actually, not 100% certain of what he does, but he works with robotics in robotic milkers for dairies. And so, obviously we used to have a dairy, so there's an instant connection and commonality there that we can talk about at family get-togethers. I believe his company moved him out to Alberta to kind of expand their business out in that area. So last I talked to him, they were rolling through life, loving it, and business was growing, so it was pretty cool for them. Okay. Seems like Ritchie Brothers has huge stuff all over. So some of those Ritchie Brother auctions, some of those can be kind of fun just to see that endless parade of equipment going past. So I had the opportunity to go to one here. Actually, it was right in the little town I live in here in Montana. They had a kind of a temporary yard. It wasn't very big, but yeah, they did a couple of sales there. So it was pretty cool. Okay, very cool. So, oops, easy. There we go. And like I said, the realism of this swather is crazy, because yeah, sometimes you have those quick corners like that don't quite line up perfect each time. So we got about half left or so. Yeah, we might get our hired worker rolling here a little bit. Just have to see. Kind of having fun running the swamper here, so did our music quit? Oh no, my monitors are quitting. Check here. See what's going on. No? Or did we get to the end of our track? We're going to try this one. Put a little R&B on this morning. See how that works for us. So, all right. There's a little noise in the background to keep us occupied. Oof. Maybe I better let the higher worker take over. I'm not doing well anymore. Switch over, get a little water in. Quick on the trigger on that one. Hope that drove too fast. Let's see how good we are in cab for a change. So. Did have a little development on the farm off camera. We cleaned up the potato planting equipment. We returned our Lockwood planter. I don't think we're going to be able to work out a deal for that planter. So we'll stick with the old Sputnik one. But that Lockwood is a very nice machine. However, when we got the Sputnik planter all cleaned up and put away. Well, it gets all cleaned up, but it's not put away because it won't fit in our shed. So we're going to have to explore another option to get the planter under cover before winter hits. So that's something we'll have to look at in the upcoming episodes of After Hours, is how we can get a shed for that thing to fit in. I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not sure exactly how well it will work out, and of course the ever-present money troubles. So we'll get her figured out. So this in-cab running here is kind of fun too. So yield is okay for this stuff. I'm not sure. Fertilizer and everything was good on it. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh well. Mr. DJ's Club is here. Welcome in, sir. Happy Easter to you. Appreciate you stopping by to hang out with us for a bit. Whoa. Camera's looking all wonky there, isn't it? I think I may have to shut the curtain here. Get to the end of the row. Happy Thanksgiving, he says. Happy Thanksgiving. Does that mean you'll be dining on our fair turkey today, DJ? Alright, give me just a second here, guys. There, that's better. Okay, let's see, which way do we got to go here? The sun is just coming in just right on the camera. Screwing with your ability to see my beautiful face. So, it is, I will say, Montana weather report. Absolutely gorgeously clear, 30 degrees this morning. It's supposed to be on its way up to almost 60 today. And they're talking we're going to be flirting with almost 70 degrees on Monday. So we're going to go from a freezing deep freeze to a flood in a matter of a few days. So, but don't worry, sports fans. They're forecasting more snow for Thursday. So that is going to hold so true and typical of Montana weather, to where we get winter and then false spring and then winter again and then real spring. So we got that going for us. Easy. I figured you'd like the snow there, DJ. I know you're a snow guy, which I am too, to a certain extent. And it's like, okay, you know, time to start getting equipment out of the shed, time to start farming again. Let's get rid of the snow and let's go. But nobody asked me, so. Road trip was great, DJ. Got the equipment. The install went very smoothly, and setup was smoother. And so this is on a test machine, I guess you could call it. We're doing some additional testing, and the initial tests that we ran Friday before I came back home are looking very good. So. Unfortunately, this still is kind of a project that's under wraps, so I can't talk too in depth about it. But things are looking up. So, and if this product goes well, it could be a cool project and a cool product and company to be part of. So, but yeah, the road trip was awesome. Saw a handful of guys down in south central Idaho that were running in the fields. Actually saw one guy was planting potatoes, but he was just too far off the interstate for me to find him and get any good pictures or anything like that. Otherwise, I for sure would have done that. So, then a bunch of guys were doing some tillage work. But if you're interested at some point and you check out a map. Central Idaho, right along the interstates there, Interstate 86 and 84 from Pocatello to Boise. That is just an area of the country that is just chock full of potatoes and alfalfa, and then a lot of grain as well. Kind of is their 3 or 4 crop rotation, and just an immense amount of agriculture. All of the equipment dealerships are full of combines and sprayers and tractors and tillage tools and swathers and whatnot. So it's for a farm kid and somebody that's involved and loves agriculture, it's a great little road trip to take through there in the late spring, early summer, and early fall with all the harvest and planting and spraying and all that haying going on. It's a fun road trip then. So, and I have to say, thoroughly enjoyed your stream Wednesday with you and Graham chatting back and forth. At least I think it was Graham. That was just a good stream for you guys. So well done there. So exactly, Hodge. Exactly. I'm like a kid in a candy store running through there. So it was kind of a crazy story from back in my ambulance days. A very good story. We had to do it was a little lady that had fallen. She needed to be transported back to her family was all originally from Boise, and they were up here in southwest Montana for a little family vacation. She had some medical problems and needed to go back to Boise, but had to go via ambulance because she couldn't sit in the car. And so middle of August, my partner and I have to make the 8-hour trip down to Boise with this lady in the ambulance. And it's still one of my favorite trips because all the way down there I can kind of look out the back window of the ambulance and see all of the combines going in the field and all of that. I was just exactly like you said, Hodge, kid in a candy store right then and there. So and then yeah, dropped her off in Boise, turned around and headed right back and saw all of the same stuff. We took a little bit different route on the way back, but same kind of a thing. Saw all the same stuff, all the same farms, fields, and everything. It was cool. So yeah, again, I don't know. There's that goofy spot in the corner that's not showing us any yield data, which is weird. Anyway, I think we'll just get this finished mowed up, and then we'll get it raked. We'll do a little bit of baling. Hopefully there's some time. So, as a side note, back in 2000, was it 2000? It was 2007, 2008. Just about moved to Boise. So I interviewed with the fire department. That went very well. And it was right before the economic downturn here in the States. And they were forecasting, predicting, expecting to hire, I believe it was 30 people total, 10 paramedics and 10 EMT, or 20 EMTs for the fire department. And I was 7th on the list, and they took 5 instead of 10. Their hiring budget, they had to cut their numbers about in half, so I didn't make the cut there. So that was that's my claim to fame, is I made 7th on Boise Fire's hiring list. And then life happens, other opportunities come up, and we never pursued that any further. But it was fun going down there a couple of times to do the interview process, and my wife had some friends down there that we stayed with. So, but, yep, the lot of alfalfa down in that Idaho area, Hodge. No farming up by you yet, DJ. Yeah, let's imagine the snow's a little deep for that just yet. So, the fields right around here, right around home, are just starting to show the dirt again after being covered all winter. So, population of Boise, I want to say, kind of off the tip of my head, right around 100,000, I think. Maybe a little bit bigger now. It's a good sized city. So there is a lot of agriculture, and oddly enough, a lot of tech companies. It's kind of weird. So let me just see. Ooh, I was slightly off. It's about twice what I thought. About 240,000. So, yeah, a little bigger than I thought. So, but, and the other thing that's big down there, along that Snake River, right along Interstate 84 and 86, is dairies, big dairies. So you're either potatoes or dairies down there. So it's kind of fun. There's right along the interstate. I think it's right out of Jerome, Idaho, on the interstate there. Um, Big old Jersey dairy, all Jersey cows and everything. So it's always fun to drive past there and see what they're doing. You know, various times of day. Wednesday when I came through, it was later in the day, so they were feeding everything. So they had the mixer truck rolling, and so there's a Kloss choppers are big down there. There's several big Kloss chopper dealers in through that area. So usually in the summer and in the fall, when they're chopping corn, you see a lot of those machines running in the field as well. So those are always cool to watch because, man, do they go fast in real life? It's crazy. So. Terrible amount of skips in here. Did we just skip a whole bunch there? A little bit on those ends there. So, this probably isn't as exciting for you. I just realized that, but I'm enjoying the heck out of running in cab like this. This is fun. Yeah. So, believe it or not, Hodge, I'm glad you brought that up because we're running right about 15, 16. These machines are capable of running this fast. I mean, this is how fast they go. They're more limited by how smooth the field is versus anything else. But I have run not this identical machine, but one very similar to it. I've run it this fast in real life. Right in that 15 mile an hour range. So it's kind of crazy running this fast. So running this fast, there's zero margin for error. So you got to be spot on. And the crazy thing is, and I want to figure out how to get it so that I can do it in the game. I just have one small thing to figure out. But on a pivot field in real life, you guys will cut on the arc of the pivot, so you're just constantly cutting in like a half circle, and you're cutting on the curve at 15, 16 miles an hour with these machines, and it's to get in and ride with a good operator of these, it's so cool. I mean, they are just flat moving. So, I think, yeah, cool. That almost never happens that you line up perfect one edge to the other. So, but there we go. Yeah, right about an hour, just a skosh more than an hour to get this piece mowed. So. We'll get this swath returned, and we'll get the rake and a tractor and get this rigged up. Happy Easter and good morning to you too, Farmer. Appreciate you stopping in on this holiday morning. Welcome in. Glad you're here. So, we are just finishing up swathing our alfalfa here on the potato farm. And now that we're done with that, we're going to run this swather back to the dealer that we just rented it to cut this hay. And we will grab a rake. Get the rake. Be able to actually get that purchased or leased here. We're going with our and I think we're just going to set we're just going to use our own tractor for this. So the neighbor on the dairy there who used to buy our hay and used to equipment share with, he sold out his dairy and moved to town to run a grocery store. So He is doesn't have his dairy anymore, so we are on our own with the hay. We got to kind of rent some of the equipment and everything till we get our room built back up. Go from there. So. Yep, absolutely, farmer. It was when I was on the farm and growing up, it was one of my favorite things to do as well. So, and then, a couple of years that I worked for the potato grower, that was my job in the summer, was to cut the hay. So it was a good time for sure. So I am not sure what's taking the co-op so long to get their truck taken care of on the side of the road here, but it is still sitting here. So no idea what's going on there, but you know, what can you do? Truck dies on the side of the road or kind of right in the middle of the road. You just kind of gotta deal with it there. So no idea what they're doing, but they know, I'm sure. So who knows? I suppose I could help them out by just driving it off the road into one of these lots here, but we'll leave it. It's not our deal. So dealer's got the rake for us, and we'll have to pull the tools off of the fence before we come get the rake. We don't want to run over our hay while we are raking it up there, so we'll have to get rid of the duals. Okay. Get this guy returned. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can jump back over to the vent. There we are. And he's got lots of gas. Good to go there. This little vent here has sort of become our workhorse on the farm here. So he's racking up the hours on this old girl. Oh, let's see, Fent, there we go. We need to customize it. And now I want to see wide. So those are the ones I want. Whoops. We're saving. These are the ones I want. I just wish I could get them a little bit wider spaced. But that's okay. That's okay. All of that looks good. Let's customize it. Different. Yep. Perfect. All right. So we got the Challenger in. And we better pick up. We don't need the weight. I'm gonna leave the weight there. So ideally, I'd have these a little bit skinnier tires and have them spaced just a little bit more. Just because then we wouldn't be riding over the windrow when we're bailing. To rake, it won't matter because we're not going to straddle the windrow. But yeah, that's one of those things that's. This is an instance where I wish I had the ability to mod, because that would be great to be able to adjust tire widths and wheel spacing, things like that. But I'd rather spend the time playing the game. So modding is not something I couldn't figure out. I love playing the game. That's all there is to that. So, but sunflowers here underneath our pivots are looking great. So we are probably in some upcoming episodes going to hopefully pick up some harvesting contracts on some ground that we're going to hopefully lease next year. So that's our plan. We'll see. So it's only July. It's a long time till harvest this year, and then obviously planting next year. So we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, exactly. Farmer. It's there is, I think it's one of the 8R John Deere mods. Has the perfect spacing. It's got them dished out instead of dished in, so it makes that nice wide stance for running the baler over the windrows. So, we make this work as best we can, and oops, let's try to get it remotely close to hooked up there, BigSky. Jeepers. There we go. All right, let's head out there and get this baby raked up. Nice part about doing a little bit of mowing and raking on a Sunday morning. There's not a whole lot of traffic out on the map this time of day. Ooh, a Puma mod out there that does it. Might have to take a few minutes to look for that one when we're done streaming. So, like I said, I don't have anything against John Deere. It's just John Deere is everywhere. I like to have other stuff, and I'm a Fendt fan, so I would love to be able to change all of this stuff and do all of this stuff on a Fendt. So, but I think. Let's do that. Here we go. Oop. Oh, okay. Farmer, that makes sense. So. We're going to be a little generous on our turns here to make sure we get all of the bits and pieces. I drop right here. Try to have the cleanest windrows and field we can when we start to bale. Because as you can see, those inside two windrows get a little beat up. Just from turning with the mower and everything. So we're going to probably pick up a little bit soon here. Make a big old corner here. This field, this ripe field here to our right, I guess, is one of the fields we're going to look at renting, leasing next year. So we'll have to, that's one we're going to harvest and get, I said it, I don't want to say we volunteered to harvest it, but if we do the harvesting, we can kind of control how the straw gets distributed and everything, and that residue management is big for pre-potato ground, so that is not quite as clean and raked up as I had wanted it. It's okay. It's okay. This one's going to be kind of ugly. It'll be okay. But if we get too much straw and chaff piled up in the wrong places, it can create havoc all the way through our potato growing season. So we want to make sure we get that. The next year's crop starts with this year's harvest when it comes to residue management. I think we're just going to slow down, make sure we get these right where we want to be, and then I just thought of that I could do it this way on the other piece, so we'll probably do that. We can do the back and forths first, and then we'll go in and do what's left of the outside four. And a couple of those pieces are just going to get left behind because they're too far out there. He's got one close. Raking, we don't go quite as fast, but we only have to go half as many times across the field, so. Okay, this is gonna get real ugly here. That's what we're going to call that right there. We'll have to do a little bit of creative baling. Actually, might do. I think we're just going to do it this way. Yeah, that'll work. That way there will work. Sorry, getting a little wiggly with the mouse there. We'll get this all, we'll just do this little triangle by hand. Mr. Jake Dupp is here. Welcome in, sir. Good morning and a happy Easter to you as well. Hopefully you're doing well. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Hopefully this time next year you're preparing to be the Easter Bunny, hiding some Easter eggs. Yeah, this edge is just going to get hashed up, isn't it? Oh well. Won't be terrible. We'll still be able to squeeze it into a bale. It's fine. It's fine. Not a big deal. Ooh, there we go. Whew, that was close. Coming in my angle, I have to miss those little bits, and it drives me nuts. Nuts. All right. this doesn't work too bad. It's kind of a bad one there. Oh, that was a really bad one. Butchered that inside windrow real bad there. That's okay. We can fix it later. So then when you get some of these windrows like this and some hay fields under a pivot, not only is it mowed on the angle or on the curve, but then you have to rake it on the curve and then bale it on the curve, and that can get a little bit interesting at times. There is a guy here that I help out in the summer, do a little bit of baling. They cover him and his dad, they cover, his brother is actually there too now. They cover a pile of acres throughout the summer for hay. And he's a really good manager of people. So he's got a group of guys. Myself is in that group. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going here. That he kind of uses us as relief. So if he's got some hay that's going to be ready late at night or early in the morning, he'll give his regular crew the night off so they can go home, sleep, be with their families, whatever. He'll call in the relief crew, and we come and run equipment for him all night. And then his regular crew comes during the day and runs the day shift. So running for him at night on pivot curves and in unfamiliar fields gets to be a little bit of an adventure for old BigSky here. So, but it's still fun. The money's good, and of course it's driving tractors, so that's always fun. So let's see. So we want to be here, and I want to set up a course. We're going to set us up a GPS course here. Oh, it didn't take the dirty thing. Let's try east. There we go. Okay, we're center it. That actually looks pretty good right there. So, all right. Yep, exactly. Farmer. You know what I'm talking about. So, widen that out just a skosh more. There we go. Yeah. We won't do much in cab with here because all the action is out here behind us. Make our curves wide enough here. Should be able to do a decent amount. Whoop, no. Where's it? Oh, that is right. Mr. Faber Farming is here. Welcome in, sir. Happy Easter to you. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We are just making a royal mess of this. Royal mess of this whole thing. Look at this disaster. Holy cow. Come on. Unbelievable. This is where we're at. Okay. My goodness. What a mess I've made of this. You did this, Faber. You made me so nervous. Just threw off my whole game here. I'm just teasing, man. Welcome in. Happy Easter to you. Good morning. Glad you're here. Hopefully your day is going well. You've probably got a good head start on us for Easter, so... Blinky lights are going. Turn those off. driving around the field with my landing lights on. That's a rookie move, BigSky. Come on, you're better than that. Goodness. The summer I was on the harvest crew, that was a huge faux pas. When we moved, we're going to want to set this because otherwise it's going to screw me up the rest of the game. Oh, we are set. Just right for our cruise. Perfect. Okay. We would move fields, and then we would start cutting in the field. And if you left your flashers on and your beacons on from the move, if you were busy running down the field cutting, the boss would just, he'd jump on the mic, radio, and just go landing lights, and then you could see up the line whoever still had theirs on would quick reach over and shut them off. And then of course the rest of the crew would just ridicule you and haze you and harass you the whole rest of the day because you left your lights on. So and you'd get out for supper and they'd be like, hey, BigSky, make sure you shut your lights off, dude. So that is probably one of the funnest and most frustrating summers of my life, but it taught me a whole lot. And I realized how, I don't want to say easy I had it, but how much different it is working for somebody else versus working for Dad. That was really my first off-farm, away from the family job. And I can look back now and admit I was a little homesick for a whole summer being that far away from my family. But made lifelong friends, still talk to those guys. Not a lot because we've all grown up, married, kids, lives, I think there's only one guy from that crew that I have not heard of or heard from. And it wouldn't surprise me if he was potentially in jail, to be honest with you. But the rest of those guys, I mean, we're friends on Facebook. We talk to each other sporadically, but we're basically watching each other's families grow up from afar. But they became like my family, but the first few months were ooh. But I got to run a combine, John Deere 9650 STS, 30-foot head, a group of 4 of us in a grain cart, 2 semis and 2 straight trucks, and it was just an absolute blast all summer long. So like I said, one of my most favorite summers, but also one of my most frustrating summers because I didn't like being sad and missing the family, but I was in a combine having fun, so but if you're a younger person and you're even remotely involved in ag, I would encourage you to, if you have the opportunity to run on a combine crew for a summer, either as a combine operator or running a truck, jump on that opportunity, because it is a fantastic time. So and you get some rain delays, you get a couple of days off to kind of catch up on laundry and sleep and everything else. So it's a good time. It's a good time for sure. So, and I was part of a very good crew. They treated me very well. So. too many buttons to push at the end of the road. Got to figure out how to automate some of this stuff. I know there's a mod out there to do it. I just couldn't. I just never took the time to figure it out. I shouldn't say I couldn't figure it out. If you mess with something long enough, you'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, that one was kind of a bad one. So, to those of you that are following along in your scorecards, yes, a 280 horse tractor is a little bit much for the rake. However, it's the tractor we have, so it's the tractor we're going to use. It looks less ridiculous than the 400 horse John Deere 8RX. So, and the Challenger with its wide tracks would not fit down the windrows. So that's all right, DJ. Sleep's important, dude. You gotta have a nap. You gotta do a little sleeping. So let's slide over a little bit there. Right there. Oh, sometimes those are the best ones, DJ. So the old man nap. Oh yeah. I remember when I was geese nap. There you go. Those were some of the best naps I had in life when I would come in the house from milking. And so you get up to 2:30, be in the barn, have the cows started milking by 3 a.m. And then get back in the house 6:37, have a little bit of breakfast about 7:30, sleep from 7:30 till about 8:30, quarter to 9, and then since we were already up and had a half a day's work in, we'd usually start the farming work on the dairy about 9, and with that nap from 7:30 to 8:39, oh, still some of the best napping. You just get kicked back in the old big soft recliner, put a little blanket over you. Oh man, just great naps, great naps. Ooh, McKenzie's got ribs today. Ooh. I didn't want to say anything, but pretty sure the folks have some steaks for us today. So, steak and potatoes for Easter dinner. I'm excited. So, my kids will be little sugar-filled monsters here in just a short while. So. Get a little better workflow. There we go. There you go. Now you guys are talking. Turkey and old man naps. Man, you guys are my people. I love it. I love it. So, I'll be honest though, I am not a huge fan of turkey. Even at Thanksgiving, it's just kind of eh. I think it's every 4 years. My sister-in-law's birthday every 4 years falls on Thanksgiving Day, and her birthday meal since she got married, her husband barbecues like nobody I've ever seen. Now, don't worry, Mackenzie, it's not Texas barbecue. It's just barbecue, like just throwing everything on the grill. And he's great at it, but it's not Texas barbecue. So just want to make sure that record is set. Anyway, he does ribs for her on her birthday, and so it's my favorite Thanksgiving when we get to go there and it's her birthday because we get ribs. Everybody else is like jacked about the turkey, and I'm over there stuffing myself with ribs. So it's great. But I am a foodie. That is for sure. That is for sure. So food and coffee and farm sim. Man, you guys are making me hungry now. Thanks a lot. It's okay. I'll be in a sugar coma here shortly. So there's a fair bit of sugar that's in baskets ready to go for the little BigSkys. Oh, Jason joining us this morning. Welcome in, sir. Didn't even see you sneak in there. Welcome in this morning. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Hope the morning is treating you okay so far. Kind of interesting, I've been noticing as we work our way across the field here, we are going to have some time to grab a baler and bale this up. That'll be awesome. Don't know if we'll get the whole thing baled this morning, but we'll get a good chunk of it. But I have to shift the GPS line over just about every pass here because I'm not quite lined up perfect. But I was noticing that the Fendt tractors in real life have a single button that you can push to where it will automatically shift your line to where you are when you engage it if you have that feature turned on. And I'm like, that would be really handy in this game, in this instance. So. Whoa! Look at you go, Jason. What sort of catastrophe prevented you from going to the in-laws there? Absolutely. All you great folks hanging out here with me, if you haven't already, go ahead and drop a like. My unsaid goal until now was to hopefully get 20 likes out of this stream, so don't know if I'll quite make that, but that was the goal for the stream anyway. So. Did I? I don't know if I did or not. No worries, Faber. No worries whatsoever, dude. So we got 1, 2, 3. No, we can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can go all the way to the end with these. So. Ah. Well, that's, sorry that you're not feeling good, dude. Glad you're feeling well enough to, join us here and with the harsh, scratchy, grating sound of my voice. That's not what we want to have happen. That's a GPS misfire right there. Okay, so let's get this raking. The grating sounds of my voice can lull you into a sleep to get help with your cold and you're tired there, Jason. So, of course, I could just shut up and turn the music up and go from there. Oh. Just looking outside here, it is going to be an absolutely beautiful Easter day. couple of clouds here and there. Oh, I'm so excited to go outside. So excited. Just about a miscue there again on the GPS. I think get to the end of this row, we're going to rake up the end rows on this end of the field, this west end, I believe. West end, yeah. We'll get those rows raked up, and then that will leave us these two outside rows on the left to go back down to the other side. Yeah, Jason, that's about what this week's weather looks like for us. Supposed to be almost 70 tomorrow and then snow again on Thursday, so that's great. Hey, firefighter 1139, Mr. Brian, how are you, sir? Welcome in. Happy Easter to you as well. Thanks for joining us this morning. I do appreciate it. So I think last I saw you were headed off to an emergency there out of DJ's stream the other day, so hopefully everything went well there. Oh, sorry for the trees, guys. Awesome. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate the support, you guys. This Sunday morning stream is definitely one that I have started to look forward to quite a bit throughout the week, actually. And as we get into my busy season here, April and May, the afternoon streams are going to be kind of hit or miss, I'll be honest. So after about the 1st of June, though, life and the season hopefully should slow down just a little bit. We can get back to some regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, let's do that this way. I think this will work. Yes. I know of which you speak, Brian. So I used to be a volunteer in the little town we have, and one of the neighboring towns had some of those similar. We always called them an urban renewal project. So I speak your language, sort of. Well, if I'm not fluent, I can at least interpret what you're saying. How about that? So, oof. That was a terrible. I should not have tried to do that way. That was awful. Ugh. Okay. So this one, yep, that's. Cleans it up a little bit. But not much. Oh, BigSky, what are you doing? You are going to get the rake hung up on a tree so bad, all of these viewers are going to laugh at you. Okay, guess not. We're okay. That Adam Sandler bit. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you. I, I, I feel your pain, man. I've been there. Um, uh, After being a volunteer for quite a while, I did go get my EMT, and then when Dad and I had that hard conversation about having to sell out the dairy, and it wasn't going to be room for me on the old family farm anymore, that is when I seriously explored firefighting, EMT, everything there, and ultimately ended up getting my paramedic and worked on the ambulance here in Southwest Montana for, I was full-time for almost 10 years, and part-time for another 5. So I know all about those frequent flyers and those repeat areas, and all that fun stuff you deal with. So it's it's always fun dealing with some of those folks. So not that it's bad, not speaking ill, just it's understandable for sure. So, and you probably know as well as I do the unique and dark sense of humor fire and EMS develop over the course of their careers. So probably a lot very similar to McKenzow's there too. He could probably get in on this and have some dark humor that's probably inappropriate for most of society. So, but I do miss my coworkers. I do miss the truly legitimate calls where you actually make a difference to somebody, and the camaraderie and all that. But I don't miss the early mornings and late nights and all the paperwork. I don't miss that at all. So all right, almost got this baby wrapped up. I've got to stop trying to do the corners. But if I remember correctly, this should finish us up. Yeah. Hopefully I don't hit the rock pile there. Kind of come out of the trees there. Sorry about in the trees again, guys. I'm not quick enough on the mouse to spin us around and keep us out of the trees there, so I'm trying to keep the rake out of the tree. Yeah, back in my day it was paperwork. I say back in my day, that was like 10 years ago. So, but all right, we're gonna get this thing folded. Oh, that's right, McKenzie, that's right. You haven't done any, you didn't do any when you got out, that's right. But I still would imagine with the military and the EMS, you still have developed that dark, inappropriate humor, should we call it. I shouldn't laugh, but it's, it is what it is in that industry, right? I mean, you're constantly, almost all of the time, seeing people at their worst. Yeah, I don't need to go any further. You know what I'm saying, but you're constantly seeing people at their very worst when they need help the most, and you just develop that sense of humor. So Yep, I can totally understand. Can totally understand, McKenza. I will sometimes still make a comment or a joke that people look at you and go, really? You think that's funny? That's not funny. Yeah, it kind of is. When you have the background I do, it kind of is, because you have to laugh at some of that stuff. You just have to. So. Oh, okay. Yeah. Those are always the sucky ones, too, in that scenario, Brian, that's for sure. So, nope, I don't. What I didn't want to I just thought of a new, instead of a crash counter, we're going to have a BigSky's buttons counter when BigSky hits the wrong buttons. So, all right, we are going to, if you guys would excuse me for just a moment here, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we will come back and get a baler leased and see if we can do some baling. So I'll be right back. Hang on, guys. Okay, we are back. Let's get a baler leased. I think we're going with this guy, but we want the Trelleborg tires on there. They look a little bit better. Excuse me. And actually, since we got this thing right here, since it does help to carry the weight of that baler, and oh, easy, fall out of the tractor there. It does look, I think it looks really cool. We are going to throw the duals on there. Oh, really? That's an $11,000 option? Which one did we have? There. That's the one. I was saying, that's the one we did have. We're going to go with them. Hoofda. Buying a whole nother farting tractor. Goodness. Okay. Let's go bale some hay. They, door. Sorry, got distracted. see how far we get here. Jason, you get to deal with the business end. Is that, are you on the board? Is that kind of your role there? Are you on the... And I'm not sure if that's a good blast or one of those sarcastic eye-rolling ones. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Okay. Oh, we got dust all over the place here. Maybe we should have... We got the hay too dry. That's the problem. Oh, my windrows are way too wide. Ah, shoot. Well, we are going way too fast. So let's back this off to about there. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a rough one here, I think. I'm afraid. Because that is a modded tractor. It is the Fendt 700 Gen 7. It should be on the mod hub. And yeah, it has turned into one of my many favorite tractors in this game. The big thing with this for Fendt is, until now, their 700 series topped out at 240 horse. They redid it for, they added 2 horsepower categories to this Gen 7, which is 2023 and up for Fendt in real life. And somebody, about the time they had released those, somebody had it modded up and it was on Mod Hub. So yeah, it's pretty gnarly looking tractor, especially in the black. It looks so good. So we can shut our GPS off because we won't be using much of that for baling until we get to that other side at least. So these narrow windrows. I believe, Brian, we can check here right quick. So it's in mediums, and it is the 700 Vario Gen 7 mod, and it's about as American as it gets. So there are a couple of things. You can get it in all the goofy Fendt colors. So we could do this weird Fendt orange, which, but yeah, you get the Black Beauty one. So they did change the shape of the hood here a little bit, which I'm not wasn't initially super excited about, but other than that, but as far as I could tell, this is about as American as they can get. So, but yeah, you get 200, 220, 240, 260, and 280. So, nice mod. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So, and as far as I know, if it's on Mod Hub, it should be for everybody, correct? Wide windrows are a little tough. That's awesome, right? That is so freaking cool. So I used to work at a Fendt dealership, so I'm very familiar with Fendt. And I don't think they have any Gen 7s out there yet. But we did have a big hay customer come in. This was right before I quit. And they do a little bit of farming, but they do a big amount of custom hay acres. And they came in and bought 8 brand new Fendts in one shot. They did 4 of the different horsepower versions of the 700 series and 4 900s. And they really wanted in that 280 range. They would have preferred like 2 of them in the 280 and 2 of them in the 300. They went 300 and 330 instead. And it was like about a month or 2 after they had signed the papers and the deal was finalized that Fendt released that they were going to be making these Gen 7s with 280 horse. So those guys were uber disappointed that they pulled the trigger when they did, but yet they were still ridiculously happy with their Fendts. So I did not. This year was kind of the transition year for them because they ordered them, but they came in almost over the course of 12 months. It was actually December when they got their last one in, just because of how everything is in the world. And so this summer I will be making my way out to where they farm and getting a bunch of pictures and video and doing some ride-alongs with them. So just because I know them, I'm friends with them, and I love Fendt. So, but yeah, and I got to sit in the Gen 7 at Farm Progress show last summer when I was there. So, and let me tell you, the seat in these Gen 7s is nothing to complain about at all. It's a pretty freaking amazing seat as far as tractors go. So, I think Fendt was going to add a massaging seat option like John Deere has now. But even the non-massaging seat sits so nice. So, on their super deluxe seat in a Fendt, excuse me. Very nice. That's awesome, Brian. That is awesome. But in the 900s, their super deluxe seat, the headrest portion of it will actually rotate around, so that when you're turned around in the seat sitting, you can lean your back up against it and it moves, so you can lean your arm right on the back of the seat. It's so comfortable to sit in all day. I was only able to do it once for about a half a day when we were demoing a machine. But look at me. Oh, I am an idiot. Oh, I bet if I pull up the F1 menu here, I'm trying to figure out why I'm only making an 1,100 pound bale. Because I'm only making the 220 or the 220s, so it's not as bad. Yep, I forgot to change the bale size. So busy, so excited to get rolling on this and chatting with you guys that I just completely spaced it. That's all right. We'll just get this little part whipped up here, baled up here, and change it when we jump across the ditch there. So your Gen 7s there, Brian, are you running them on balers, or are they doing farm work, or what are they feeding cows, if I may be so bold as to ask? Because there's been a lot of the think that the dealership has moved outside of that one customer. They've moved about 6 or 8 of the 714, 716 series to some beef guys around here that so far are, as you would figure, they're loving them. Excuse me, sorry about that. That sneeze and whatnot kind of snuck up on me there, so. Okay, very nice. Very nice, very nice. Alrighty. Does that get us? Oops. This doesn't have a bail counter on it. Shoot. Alright, we're going to get rid of that. And then we're going to kind of cruise around and pick up the small bits here. And then we will jump across the ditch. We're going to worry about all the small bits. There's a couple of big chunks we should get. But we'll get this switched over to the bigger bales. We're going to auto-save glitch. Called that one right on. Look at me go. You guys probably could have called it too. You saw the auto-save countdown pop up at the bottom there. So, alright. There was a bigger-ish pile over here on the other end. Now I want to do this very carefully. Now, can I change the size? I can. Okay, perfect. Let's do it this way. Although my guess is this one is still going to be bailing at 14 miles an hour. It's a little much. curious to know what our bale size is going to do here. I'm hoping it bumps them up to closer to 1,500 pounds. It's 1,300. I'll take that. Might come a little on the lighter side. So, all right. Yep, I know that's the neighbor's land. Just had to borrow the grade to turn on. Copy the world. Alright guys, I think that is going to be it for this morning's stream. We are gonna go have some holiday fun with the family here, but I do thank you guys so much for joining us. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. It was a good stream. I had a lot of fun, a lot of good talk, a lot of good chat. The channel is doing great. I'm super happy with where we are, how we're growing and everything like that. That is all thanks to you guys supporting the channel, hanging out with us. So, Brian, it was good of you to join in with us this morning. I appreciate that. Saw you pop in one other time, so thanks for that. We will see you all next time. Have a happy Easter.